Take a moment to tune inside. Clear a space in your heart, your mind, your body to receive whatever it is that the Lord wants to share with you during this time of meditation. Take a deep breath and let it go. Moroni shares the sacrament prayers and the specific words that are repeated each week as our covenant with God is renewed. O God, the eternal Father, we ask Thee in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ, to bless and sanctify this bread to the souls of all those who partake of it, that they may eat in remembrance of the body of Thy Son. How do you feel sanctified when you take the sacrament? How do you feel more holy, more pure, maybe in your intentions? When you remember the body of Jesus Christ, what comes to your mind? Do you think of the cross? Do you think of His body in Gethsemane? When Jesus was on the earth, He told His disciples that they would eat of His body, and that some people would not really understand what that meant. What does it mean to you to know that Jesus has invited you to symbolically partake of His body, to consume it, to digest it, to let it become part of you? Similarly with the wine, that you digest it, you drink of it in remembrance of His blood. Why does Jesus want you to remember His body and His blood every single week? He also invites us to remember Him always. That we might have His Spirit to be with us. Think of things that you have on your mind constantly thinking about something or someone. Jesus wants you to think of Him always. He knows that even the very thought of Him will bring sweetness to your heart. What do you remember about Jesus that brings sweetness to your heart? If you think of this last day, was there a time during the day that thinking of Jesus would have changed the tone, changed the feelings of the day? How can you bring Jesus to your mind always, so that you don't lose sight of Him and your relationship with Him? The promise in return is that we will always have His Spirit to be with us, and then we don't ever have to be alone. Never. Think of all the times that you felt alone. But if you always remember Him, His promise is that you will always have His Spirit to be with you. We also covenant to take His name upon us. Think of the names that you've taken upon yourself and what they mean. Now this compares to taking upon yourself the name of Christ. How are you like Him? How are you part of Him if you take His name upon you? If you take His name upon you, you're not ashamed of Him. If you take His name upon you, you're spreading His light, His mission. You're His ambassador. Everywhere you go, people will know you're part of Christ. You can't help but to witness everywhere you go that you're His.